Hey guys, welcome back to Nerds and Nutrition. It's Leslie, and today we're going to talk about water kefir. In one of my recent videos, I told you guys that I started to make water kefir, and tonight I want to show you how to make your very own water kefir. But wait, what exactly is water kefir? What is it? What is it? Water kefir is a probiotic-rich drink in which water kefir grains feed on sugar water. And the end result is this beautiful fermented sugar water, and you can flavor it however you want. In a second fermentation, you are simply taking the water kefir minus the grains and adding either dried fruit or some kind of organic juice, and then you are fermenting it for a couple more days. And that will produce some effervescent, slightly fizzy, really good pop replacement. All right, with that said, let's get started. I will show you guys how to make your own water kefir. Okay guys, here I have a completed batch of water kefir. It has been fermenting for about 2 days. And if you guys can see, as I move the jar around, there are bubbles that are floating to the top. And those are just simply gases that are produced by the water kefir grains feeding on the sugars that are in the sugar water. So before I pour this into my container, I want to get my sugar water ready in a clean container, preferably glass. And it is really important to make sure that when you're placing your water kefir grains into the new batch of sugar water, the water is at room temperature. If the water is too hot, it can damage the grains. So to make our sugar water for our new batch, we're simply going to dissolve a 1/4 cup of some kind of unrefined sugar in a 1/2 cup of hot water. So I have my 1/4 cup here, and this is turbinado cane sugar. I like to get this sugar in the raw. This is a really nice sugar to use for making sugar water for water kefir grains. All right, enough jazz hands. Get serious. All right, so just going to measure out a 1/4 cup of unrefined sugar. That needs a little bit more. Okay. And we need a 1/2 cup of preferably spring water. You want to make sure that you're using a water that is free of contaminants, because the water, if it has chlorine in it, it can damage or kill the grains. So do yourself a favor, go to Walmart or wherever you can get a few cheap gallons of spring water and keep this on hand. All right, I'm just going to quickly throw this in the microwave and heat this up so I can dissolve my sugar. Okay, once you have your hot water, go ahead and add it to your 1/4 cup of raw sugar and give a swirl until this is dissolved. And yes, you can give it a stir with a spoon, but when you are working with any kind of kefir grains, whether it is milk kefir or water kefir, it is important to not use metal utensils, as metal can react poorly with the kefir grains, damaging them. So keep in mind that you are using non-reactive materials to stir your sugar water, but it's especially important after you add your water kefir grains. Once the sugar is dissolved in the hot water, go ahead and fill up your container almost completely full with spring water at room temperature. Make sure to leave enough room in your container where you can add your water kefir grains. Now, my kefir grains have been multiplying, and I need to give myself more room. Ultimately, I am going to start needing a second jar so I can start to ferment 2 quarts of water kefir at once. It is a good idea just to make sure that the water is at room temperature, because again, we don't want to damage the grains with super hot water. Now, let's get our kefir grains, and you guys can actually see these babies. What I'm going to do is simply drain this water kefir into a clean container using a plastic mesh strainer. Again, we want to use some kind of non-reactive material here, because if we use something like a metal strainer, the metal can damage the grains. So very carefully pour your water kefir and your grains into your container and try to catch the grains in this strainer. All right, and like I said, these grains have been multiplying and I can't fit them all in the strainer at this time, but let me give you guys a close-up of these grains. If you can see that. So again, these grains really aren't a true grain, but it's actually a SCOBY. SCOBY stands for Symbiotic Colony of Bacteria and Yeast. So these awesome little colonies of bacteria and yeast feed off of this sugar water, and it ferments it, and it populates this drink with all kinds of probiotics. So once you have your kefir grains strained out, go ahead and very carefully place them back in a fresh batch of sugar water. And then, because this gives off gases as it ferments, you do want to cover this tightly with either a coffee filter or a cheesecloth or some kind of tight-knit towel. And then you simply place your container of water kefir somewhere where it's not going to be disturbed and leave it at room temperature for 24 to 48 hours. And for your first fermentation, you can either drink your water kefir as is, or you can add some organic juice or lemon juice to it to give it some flavor. And I have recently fallen totally in love with water kefir lemonade. After playing around with the ratios of water kefir to lemon juice, I have found that 5 tablespoons of lemon juice to 1 quart of water kefir is absolutely delicious. So let's add our lemon juice and then give it a taste test. Okay guys, here's to health. It's good stuff. Oh. Okay guys, that's it for tonight. That is how you make your own water kefir at home. If you are interested in making your own water kefir, I urge you to do your own research, and I will provide a link to the website down below in the description box to the company where I bought my water kefir grains. In the past, before going vegan, I did buy milk kefir grains from them. I have purchased many of their products. I'm not sponsored by them, but Cultures for Health, hint hint, I wouldn't mind. And it's a wonderful company to work with, so definitely check them out if you are interested in making some of your own probiotics at home. Alright guys, let me know in the comments down below what questions you may have about water kefir and other probiotics. I'm more than happy to answer your questions, and I look forward to seeing you guys later in the week. Coming up, I have my Q&A. Yes, I'm still making a tally of all the questions that came in, and I am really excited to answer your questions. Thank you so much for sending them in. And I will also be doing the What YouTube Means to Me tag that Vegan Mojo tagged me in quite some time ago. Alright guys, that is it. Remember, we are changing culture one plate at a time. I hope you have a wonderful day ahead of you, and I'll see you guys next time.